No, mira, estuve durmiendo aquí en el baño, un beat ahí, no, qué chimbo, marico, no. El sueño americano, migración, 26 Federal Plaza. ¿Cómo nos tienen ver la situación como estamos nosotros, como perros acá? Para Ecuador.
Hi. But did you like the video? No, it's public knowledge. It's going around in every social media. Kind of old. I don't know, about 3 weeks or something like this. Something like that, sorry. But the first question I'm going to ask you is this. If you are an American, are you comfortable with this? And if you are, why? First of all, let's start from the beginning. These are not international criminals. These are not people that were invading cities and looting and raping and killing. Okay, these are people that were working in restaurants, that were working in farms, that were working in industries, in manufacturers, that happened to have some kind of paperwork that was not absolutely correct at the airport, and they were instantly detained. Okay, these are people, for example, that were actually in court trying to solve their immigration status with the American state and make things right and pay whatever fines they would need to pay because they entered illegally, apparently. I don't know. Okay, these are the people that are detained here because only 1% maybe is actually criminals. Because if you go into a restaurant and you look up the the people that are working there, they're not criminals, they're working. They might not be legally in the country, but they are not criminals. At most, that is an administrative penalty. You fine them, you deport them, for example, or you give them the opportunity of going to the immigration office and if it's possible, legally possible, to solve that situation. But these are the conditions where how people are detained. And don't come into my comment section and say, oh, this is just one place, other places are much better or whatever. No. I saw footage that I cannot put here because YouTube would censor it. I saw other footage, and you can see it too, of places that are even worse. This at least was clean. Crowded, unworthy of having people that have not committed any crime except perhaps not being legal in the country. And this is why people have been dying here. Because they don't have medical care. The food apparently is, how can I describe this? Shit. Okay? People are stuck together in one room or in cages like animals. Look, if you are a country boy like me, do you know what happens to an animal that is caged for too long? It goes mental. What do you think will happen to people? What do you think happens to people in prisons? They go mad. This is why, for example, in prison, people have libraries, people have TVs, okay, a couple of tables to play cards, sometime in the yard to walk around, see the sun, see the sky. Some prisoners have more rights than people that are detained that have committed no crime. They have committed an irregularity that is something completely different. And then you get the occasional jackass that goes online and laughs about this. And I will tell you again what I have told in countless videos of mine before, and that my father, who was a true Christian, not a false Christian like you fucks, used to tell me. A Christian is known by his actions, not his words. Put yourself in the shoes of the other person, and then talk about it. So before you come in here and comment on my channel or in other channels, put yourself in their shoes. Imagine you're dirt poor. You need money. You need money to build a house to your mother, for your family. You need to earn money to buy medicine. And you can go across the border, okay, work for a couple of months in a farm, okay, receive your money that the farmer already takes your taxes from, even if he doesn't report you and keeps the taxes for himself instead of you. You get that money and you are able to do things. Do you think these people want to commit crimes? Do you really think anyone that is desperate enough to risk their physical integrity, to risk themselves, to work, do you think these people are here to commit crimes? Do some of them commit crimes? Yes. But that is what the police is there. And if you had a decent immigration system, instead of that bullshit you call an immigration system, you would not have this problem. I have had the same discussion with people here in the UK. Here in Portugal, a boat with around 30 immigrants, okay, migrants, we call them, instead of landing in Spain, got diverted by the currents and landed in Portugal. Do you know what we did? Let me tell you. We took the people in, we took care of them, and then we read each individual story of them. Almost all of them were issued an order to leave. And you are saying, oh, they are not going to leave, they are going to work illegally. What? No, they won't. You want to know why? Because around here, we go around in the farms, in the industries, everywhere. And if someone is working, that person must be legal. If someone is staying in our country, we take care of that. We watch it. We surveil it. We actually do the bloody work that the state has to do to see if the persons that are inside of the state and that are not from the state have a right to be here. And those people, the majority of them, to which we issued an order of expulsion, if they leave voluntarily, if they don't have the means, they can ask us, and we will provide for them, for example, a plane flight or whatever for them to return back home. But they leave, they can go. They will be on the list, but they can go. Print, biometrics, everything is recorded. But those people then, if they voluntarily leave and they want to return here to work, they can go to the normal channels and ask for permanence here. And if they qualify, they can come. A woman, or two women, I think, and children that were with her, underage kids. You want to know where they went to? They went to the hospital to make sure they were right. Because this is how you treat people. You don't stick them in jails like the Americans do, or in hotels without being even able to work like the British do. You all complain about the foreigners. Instead of complaining about your state that is unable to deal with it, that is unable to have an immigration policy, because If there are jobs to do and there are not people to do it, how are you going to solve this? Tell me. We right now are having to deal with this because we did not dealt, sorry, with the rich idiots that are sucking up our economies. Okay, they are making housing to be more expensive. They are making jobs to be more jobs because they want more money. They don't give a fuck about us. Okay, and they are making housing more expensive, and they are forcing people to have less children because what? You are going to bring children into this world to starve to death with you, alongside with you, and you sit in your keyboard warriors, nah? You sit down and you talk shit about these people and you clap when I does shit like this. Because maybe you are American idiots, like that Greenway song. You are American idiots. And more than that, you are not people. If you clap and shit to this shit, you are not people. Don't put yourself in the same classification as me and the others. You are not people. You are animals. When I see immigration problems here in my country, I don't blame the bloody immigrants. I blame my state for being a jackass, for not being able to do things. They I blame. They are the ones I must blame. And at least here, we can vote them the fuck out. You are not even able to do that. And when I mean you Americans and you British. When I see my Scottish friends and the Scottish people that I can also call my friends that have known via the channels talking about Brexit and talking about that, okay, I support Scottish independence because in the UK, the only people, the majority of people, because in England there are a lot of English people that also make a lot of sense. I have talked often about these channels. In fact, I'm going to start to put links to those channels in my videos. No? I will quote a couple of them. Regan Lead, All Shots, Daily Baze, for example, Supetansky. These are people that are actually saying hard truths that no one seems to want to face up to. You all want someone to blame for your shit. You all want someone to blame for your problems. You are not blaming the one that is responsible for all of this, the state. And all of you that are calling for violent revolution and all of that, you are fuckfaces. That is not how things work. We had to do it in the past. But now, in the societies, we have mechanisms to stop this. I don't think this is an issue just for the USA. I'm also pissed off about my country too. Because there are a lot of shit that are not doing correctly. But remember this little clip.
No, mira,
Let's watch it again so that
una hombre aquí en el
take a
baño, un beta,
look.
no, qué
So,
chingo,
isn't
maricones.
this so
El
dignified?
sueño americano, migración, 26 federal
American
Plaza.
dream.
¿Cómo nos tienen ver la situación como estamos nosotros, como perros acá?
Like this. See, isn't this nice? Yeah, this is very nice, isn't it? This is a very nice display of the American dream. Look, my friends, if I was you, if I was an American right now, I would be ashamed of calling myself an American. I would be ashamed. I would feel so much shame to do this to people. But I guess you want to continue to vote in the same people. You want them to continue to have the same policies. You want to continue to go into chats and talk about Europol and all of that crap that you like to talk about. You love that, don't you? You love that. It makes you feel like a big person, a big man, and big woman, because I have found women that are also assholes online. It makes you feel good about yourself to know that someone is suffering. Their suffering, their suffering is your pleasure. Well, excuse me for not taking pleasure on someone else's shame, on someone else's difficulties, in someone else's pain. Maybe it's my Catholic upbringing. Maybe it's that, you know, acting like a Christian. My dad, big part of my education, of course, telling me that a Christian acts, he doesn't speak. But I don't see much of you acting. I see a couple of you acting, okay? I know a lot of Americans that are decent people, but they are like spots in a sea of shit. Just tell me in the comments if you, as an American, if you don't feel ashamed by this. Just tell me, please. And I'm not fishing for comments, okay? If you don't want to comment, my friend, click forward and don't give a fuck about me. I don't care. This channel is not monetized, okay? I'm just here talking with people. I talk about history, I talk about philosophy, politics, ethics. I talk. Like I say in most of my videos, imagine I'm just the guy across from you in the coffee shop, okay? We're having a nice espresso, we're watching people pass by, and we're talking about shit. This is what we are doing here. I have no bias. I have no political agenda. I have absolutely nothing. I'm not even enlisted in any party because, frankly, I don't like absolutisms. I don't like people that follow a certain ideology just because it's good for them. No. Like my father also told me, I think for myself. I don't like other people to think for me and to spew their narrative into me, and that I then will parrot like a bloody slave. You are all a bunch of slaves, if you ask me. Well, maybe it's the German blood. Okay, apparently I have Viking in me too. Some of my ancestors were Vikings. Maybe it's that. Okay, maybe it's that. I don't know. You tell me. Well, have yourselves a nice day.